right, thanks so much, Griff. You know, I saw that the Attorney General, Merrick Garland, said, I'm going to put $1.6 billion into criminal justice, victims' rights, and things to that nature. And I'm going to hire 1,000 cops to flood the country and provide the funding to allow these cities to hire more law enforcement. But the problem is this is happening in high-end areas because the cops haven't been empowered. The DAs are not prosecuting crime unless it's a violent crime. They're emptying out our prisons. You put all these three things together over the course of 2 years, and you pass something like Proposition 42 that allows you to steal up to just under $1,000 in 2014. People realize.
Dog. Prop 42 has been around since 2014. Why is everybody talking about it now? Why does no one consider, like, isn't it suspicious? Like, he just admitted it. This is how fucking PR works, okay? This is how manufacturing consent works. You go in and you decide, you pick like a thing. You pick a thing and you make that thing the thing that everyone has to talk about. And a while ago, it was like, they decided like, oh yeah, people are stealing like crazy. Why are they stealing like crazy? It can't be the material conditions or anything like that. It's actually because, you know, people can steal for free up until $1,000. Okay. But that shit happened in 2014. Why are we talking about it in 2021? Why are we talking about it in 2021? Because the Walgreens like chains that were already shutting down decided to make this their reasoning for why they were shutting down the San Francisco branches. Okay. But then we found out that there wasn't even like that big of a peak in fucking theft or anything like that in California. And even if there was a rise in shoplifting in San Francisco, that the crime levels were similar, if not worse, in New York. And Walgreens was, not similar. Crime levels were lower in New York in comparison to San Francisco. And yet they had more branches closing in New York. It's almost like shoplifting was already completely baked into their fucking profit margins. And they were actually shutting off branches as a consequence of the sheer amount of brick and mortar real estate properties that they owned. And that stealing had nothing to do with it. But because people got really excited at the prospect of just like immediately being like, well, that's crime and it's bad. Right? Everyone whipped up into a fucking frenzy. People were dunking on me because I was saying like, you guys are being ridiculous. You guys are being ridiculous. Okay? It's kind of like, it was a little bit like the C-word saga, where people just like went bananas over the fucking crime thing. Where it was like, crime, it's crime. Crime is bad. Crime is wrong. Let's not look at why it's happening. It's just, it's wrong and bad people are doing it because they're bad. And, good people would never do it. It has nothing to do with the material conditions. It's just crime and it's bad. Now everybody talks about it. But what they're about to talk about is one of the most deranged things. There was an LSF post about it too, I remember. Yeah. Surprised I didn't get banned for that. Yeah, this was a really fun meme that came out of it. What would you ban? Wiley, sugary drinks, Donovan, food deserts, neighborhoods with no parks, Morales, ban bodegas without fresh foods. Yang, ATVs. Adams, schools not having farms, gardens on rooftops. By the way, Eric Adams, this is why he won, bro. He's got the vision. Garcia, corn syrup. Stringer, school lunch junk food, healthcare deserts, says McGuire. Ben Shapiro says, notably, nobody said crime. Yeah. Crime is legal in New York because nobody said ban crime. Probably one of the best. Probably one of the best Bench Bureau tweets. But anyway, this is so fucked up. Let's watch what they're going to talk about now.
There's actually good money in this. And rather than go get a job at Macy's this holiday season, why don't I go do something like steal a high-end bike from a high-end store? I talked to Jillian Forsythe from Chicago.
Yeah, that's why people steal shit, dude. That's why.
She's in a beautiful area, and not only was she was robbed twice, and they caught it both times on camera in the daylight. She's outraged. Listen.
This is just another level with everything that's going on in Chicago. I know there's some laws that came in that, these are minors who just get off with a slap on their wrist, and they have to.
Bro, Gillian's like, we need to headshot them. Like, these minors that are coming in to steal bikes, they need to be headshotted, okay? The police need anti-material rifles, okay? I'm sick and tired of it. They need to start blasting, okay?
They have to know that they're going to be held accountable. I mean, put them in jail or, do whatever, but make.
Did you know people can't legally rob you if they try to mug you? Tell them that's not okay. Yeah. Tell them, if you're being mugged, tell them, hey, they banned crime. Lie to them.
Them feel like there is repercussions to what they're doing.
But they're not. There isn't.
And so when you listen to her tell her story to Brian, your heart breaks. But the average American, when they call the police, given the fact that the cops are stretched so thinly, as you look at some of the bike thefts right there, the police are just overwhelmed.
Wait, no way.
The cops are stretched so thinly.
649.
Some of the bike thefts right there. The police are just.
Oh no, it's the same video. They're just looping it. I thought it was.
When you look at this story that Griff just told us about how Congresswoman from Pennsylvania, a Democrat, Mary Scanlon, who did support police reforms, these two members of Congress robbed at, carjacked at gunpoint within 16 hours of each other, and there she is this happened in Philadelphia. The carjackers demanded her car, her purse, her wallet, and her phone. And
so here's the fucking psychotic shit that New York Post was doing, and numerous other accounts that I follow that are hyper reactionary and like constantly talk about like cops being under attack and like fuck everyone, every council member that like is pro police reform, including these people that they're referencing. The two Democratic lawmakers they have the audacity to say, that they are for police reform. Okay? They made it seem like because these motherfuckers are for police reform, that like these dipshit cops can't do anything about it and that they deserve to be fucking robbed. That is psychotic, dude. You're literally admitting the problem in and of itself that like cops are doing a dog shit fucking job. Okay? And you are also simultaneously making it seem like we have to like suck cops' dicks for them to actually do their fucking job, which they are not doing presently.
the big news is they apparently did arrest 5 people in connection with that. But it was all hands on deck in Philadelphia. You know, when this story hit yesterday, it's like, okay, we got to figure out who stole this member of Congress's car because we look really bad. It just plays into the story that, unfortunately for the Biden administration, is something that people are seeing all across the country, and there is a crime crisis. But because she was a member of Congress, they found her car. The average person just winds up getting a call from the police, and they say, you know what, we're overwhelmed, we apologize.
Wait a minute. They're just shitting on the cops, too. What the fuck's going on? I thought this was supposed to be the pro-cop approach here. Yeah, that's right. If you're a fucking nobody, cops will literally say, sorry, we can't help you. Doesn't matter if they're overstaffed or understaffed, okay? They just, if you've ever had shit stolen from you, as I have in the past, okay? Let me tell you something. Cops, they're just going to say, hey, GG's, you know, get a new one. Doesn't fucking matter. It's not worth the fucking paperwork. So, this is wonderful that they're just like, yeah, if you're a congressperson, they, chase after your car. Okay, dickhead. Don't you think that that's a problem? Don't you think that that's something that needs to be changed? Don't you feel like we need to punish some of these motherfuckers who don't do shit? Like, that's literally their job. That's what everybody thinks. Everyone thinks a cop's job is to solve crimes, like they're all detectives, okay? And to fight crime. That's what everybody thinks. When are they fucking fighting crime, dude? All they're fighting is heart disease. They're fighting the stairs, while simultaneously eating a donut at the same fucking time. The fuck are they fighting? Cops show up after you get robbed, not while or before getting robbed. I mean, yeah. Or they're fighting dogs, 14 a day. Or they're fighting their wives, 40%.
But call your insurance company.
Yeah.
We're not going to be able to find your car, but because she's a member of Congress and because it makes Philadelphia
look terrible,
and the president, who has been soft on crime, it just makes them, this goes to the story. There seems to be little consequence for crime these days. 2 members of Congress who voted for police reform over the last year, they've got to be.
By the way, I love that. It's like, if you voted for police reform, you don't deserve. Like, if you want cops to do their job and do their job right, then you don't deserve cops doing their job. That's what you're saying. That's the argument. Like, you can't criticize the cops because you'll offend them and they will continue doing a bad job. Oh, okay, good. Thanks. Psychotic. Also, what police reform happened? What police reform happened in America?
Be saying, I don't know if that was such a good idea. Maybe they think it was a good idea, but after getting carjacked, I think I would reassess.
Yeah, Stephen, speaking of little consequence, on Tuesday, the Justice Department announced that 5,000 convicted criminals who were let out of prison and are now in home confinement because of COVID-19. Yeah. This happened last year. They wanted to slow the spread in prison.
Bro, I'm so disgusted by the way that they fucking talk about any kind of like restorative or rehabilitative justice provision that people barely get to put forward. All of those people, first of all, in most circumstances are not violent offenders. Or, like in the case of California, even if they are violent offenders, that means they have 120 fucking days left in their sentence after they have already served like more than 1/3, okay, or more than 2/3 of their sentence. They've been in prison for like 10 years. And on top of that, they've demonstrated good behavior. This notion that like you think that these sorts of like prison reforms happened like the Taliban taking over Afghanistan and just like unlocking the fucking prisons is so baboon brained. I don't know how to describe it. Okay. Like, you guys haven't seen a single fucking movie, at least, where like, what the panel looks like, where they always say, like, okay, we're not giving you parole, fuck off. Like, there's a panel of people that look at your record, see if you're truly rehabilitated. They have, like, witnesses to testify for you. It's so stupid. They're just, like, baby brain, dude. They literally think at the top of the hour, a 60-second ad break is not going to happen, okay? They think, like, just because we're 5 minutes into the top of the hour that I'm not going to run an ad. And I am going to run an ad. But of course, if you want a fucking ad-free broadcasting experience, if you want that fucking good commentary, nonstop, no ad breaks whatsoever, then all you need to do is subscribe. You can do that for $5. You can do that for free with a Twitch Prime. You can do that by getting a gift sub if you're lucky. But not many are. Sometimes you got to make your own luck. JCS is coming after this, by the way. Let's go, baby. Let's go, Brandon. Here's the 1 minute ad break now.
They aren't going back to jail. And Merrick Garland said thousands of people on home confinement have reconnected with their families, have found gainful employment, and have followed the rules. So
Hey, 0x8080. Thank you for the subs. Wait, what is she saying? Is this a bad thing?
home confinement have reconnected with their families, have found gainful employment, and have followed the rules. So those convicted criminals, they're not going to be completing their prison sentences. They're going to be home.
Bro, she's literally saying this like it's a bad thing. Oh my God. She's saying an incredibly good thing. But I think what? Lütfen. But I think what we're supposed to infer is that this is somehow a bad thing. Have you guys noticed that? 'Cause I'm not alone on this, right? Like, wow, those rehabilitated, convicted criminals were able to reintegrate back into society in a meaningful capacity. I want the halal guys. Yeah, I have a drink. Oh. She literally said criminals should not be with their fucking families if they've been convicted of a crime, and that like their reintegration into society and finding gainful employment, meaningful employment in the aftermath of like the deck being stacked against them in the worst ways possible is actually somehow a negative thing. The system working for once is actually a bad thing. God damn it, I fucking despise Republicans so much. They are some of the biggest scumbags on the fucking planet. And this perfectly captures their vulturous essence, dude.
Forever, for the rest of their sentence. And the reason this is happening is really twofold. One, it's political. I don't understand why Democrats get votes when they say things, soft on crime things like reimagine policing and bail reform, because it just makes those communities safer. But the reality of the situation is that it is political and they do get votes because of it. The other is that there is this deep-seated philosophy that...
Bro, that was also straight up a dog whistle. It's political. The reality is they get votes because it's political. She means black people, 100%. She's saying Democrats are soft on crime so they can get black votes. That's what she's trying to say. Which of course is psychotic. The record. Like, absolutely zero people are pro-crime, okay? That's not a thing. Like, there's no black people are like, oh yeah, I love crime. This is great. Finally, a pro-crime candidate gonna go vote for them. Like, that's not a thing. That's only a thing if you're a gigantic fucking racist, okay? And of course, these psychos, these sick freaks are gigantic fucking racists.
America is a racist, horrible country, and criminals are victims of their own circumstance. Therefore, they should not go to prison, and they are victims themselves. And even though you hear Lori Lightfoot and the mayor out in San Francisco say that we need to change things, crime is getting so bad that we need to increase policing, that philosophy isn't going anywhere. So I don't think that this problem is going to get solved.
Well, absolutely. That is the big picture from 2 years ago. That was the conventional wisdom. That's the line from Hawk Newsom and Black Lives Matter. But I think people...
Thank you. It's Roz969. Hawk Newsom. They're still talking about the fucking fake BLM grifter guy.
We're seeing that crime doesn't see color. They see victims. And it goes to show you, too, just to close up that bike story, they are now pooling money together in the neighborhood to hire private security. Guess what? The bikes are going to be more expensive because someone's got to pay for that as security, or there's going to be less profit and they're going to go out of business.
I'm Steve Doocy.
Kellogg's workers strike is ended, by the way. Congratulations.
11-week.
Hey, by the way, if you want to know what actually gets fucking results, it's this shit, okay? We're going to watch Murder after this. Actually, we should probably just watch Murder now.